from Monster Energy, Yamaha Star Racing, Tampa 250 East Supercross winner, Max Anstie. What's up, Max?
Hi, what's up, you guys? Happy to be on.
So
you
listen,
win, you get the
Max, we were
lunch.
talking about the lapper situation, obviously a hot topic this week specifically because of what happened with Kenny. How would you handle the lapper situation if you were the AMA?
Oh, wow, that's a deep question straight off the bat. Geez.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the red flag, and the red flag, literally, like, as we got the first red flag, we were coming up on lappers, and then it bunched everyone up, and then I only lapped, like, 2 or 3 people by the end of the main once we'd restarted. So it was kind of a weird race in that sense because the 250 class didn't really have lappers.
Right.
But then, of course, watching the 450 class, yeah, it was insane. But it's a tough track. It was a tough track, and the boys are going so fast. Like, I've been on both sides of the fence. Like, for my short time that I did race a 450 when I very first came over, back again, you know, in 2021, when I was on HCP Suzuki, and then the few rounds that I did on the KTM, the Rocky Mountain bike, I was trying to go fast. I was battling just outside the top 10, or, you know, 11th, I think was my best. I was just hoping that I didn't get lapped by the end of the main. Like, it was so intense and so hard. And yeah, guys like Eli and Kenny, and they're absolutely insane at what they do. So it's a really tricky situation because, of course, you fill the gates and the lappers are still having their race. I did like what I think Coop said it in the press conference. I was overhearing him say you shouldn't be able to make time or gain a position under the blue flag. I think that would, if there was a rule or something like that, and that could possibly be something really good. I don't think you're ever going to get a fully around it. It is another part of the race that you have to, be ready for and able to adapt and accept. And I know all those guys do, and they are incredible. Fuck, it's just you're unlucky sometimes. And
Yep.
It sucks. I don't know the answer. I don't know how I would handle it as the AMA. Luckily, I'm not the AMA, so I don't have to worry about that.
You just said how many race winners there were and how stacked, we use that term all the time, this 250 East was. So when you look back on your win at the first round, there's so many guys. So do you put a lot of weight on that win?
I honestly, I don't know. I just, for me, it went like clockwork. I executed, I did my job, and that's what I'm there to do. Now, do I expect that every weekend is going to go that way? No. I expect going into Detroit and the next round, you know, the track's going to be different. We're going to have different conditions, and the guys are going to be stepping it up. It's all going to pan out differently, you know, whatever. But I'm experienced enough to know that I'm here to race. I'm here to execute as well as I can and make the best of any situation. So, yeah, I've done the work, and it's crazy because I know that's a sort of cliche comment, but I really do feel like this Sky Yamaha team has given me a platform and a base to have such a great off season. Again, cliche comment, but like, I feel just the training with Swanepoel and the crew that we've had with, you know, even having Eli there in December and Cooper Webb and Justin Good, guys that I look at and think, oh, that's where I still want to get to, even though I'm older than some of them. I still want to get to, you know, the Hayden Degans and winning outdoor championships SMX. But, you know, it's a great environment to be in, and even today we were doing all our motos back to work like normal. Nothing changes. We line up, we do our race, and we're getting ready for this next weekend. So I have never felt more ready and calm. So, I mean, you know, touch wood, it all goes smoothly, but, you know, these things never go smoothly. It's the way that it is. I was very, very pleased with how Tampa went, of course, but I just felt like I hit my marks and did my thing. So let's see what the future holds and see what these next few races hold. But yeah, it's just one thing at a time. That's all I'm focused on right now. So to become a champion or to be great at anything, the whole puzzle has to be piece together. That means you have to be comfortable with your bike, your team. You have to be fit. You have to be ready, but you also have to have everything at home, right? You have to be feeling good. This, that, and the other. Look at the 450 fast. It's insanely gnarly, right? And now we've had things happen. Guys are out, injured, weird things going on, this, that, and the other. When we rewind to the start of me riding on Star Yamaha. So I was riding for the 5-hour Honda team last year. I raced Supercross. I was supposed to race the whole of World Supercross in Australia for them, and I had a great crew there. And Yuri was a great boss, and we came to terms, and he let me start on the Yamaha early, with the whole goal, the whole plan was to just get bike time, get used to the bike, get used to the team, learn for this 2025 outdoors SMX, get some settings, do some testing. So I was racing and testing. Like, yeah, okay, the results aren't, you're like, oh, you just expect to go out and win or race Hayden Deegan. No, he'd had 3 years or however many years on this team to build that base. I was jumping in with 2 weeks. I rode Southwick and I was like, right, okay, I thought we were all right. Now we need to do some testing. I was testing things. I was testing bars at races, like random things, like bar raises, like going up and down and back and different things. Okay, I was doing it in the spotlight where you can look at the results and go, oh, that wasn't great. But I was actually, everything was preparation for this year. Let's say I would have started on the Yamaha in December or whatever. I would have 2 weeks to get used to outdoors, and then you cannot expect the results to go well in outdoors when you've got guys like RJ and Vial and the Cowie guys that have been on the same bike for years, so you have settings. Whereas, so I had to learn fast, and that was the whole goal of it last year. It was all part of the process of being ready for this year's first round of Supercross. Then we had a full off season of obviously, most people know the Star program is motos and very, pushy. We all ride together, but that way of riding, to be perfectly honest, in the beginning and before I signed for the team, I was nervous of that. I thought it was going to be too much, too not necessary, this and that and the other. But honestly, if you can handle it and look at it the right way, like look at it in a positive light, all it does is it highlights weaknesses that you would usually figure out at the races. So let's say you're struggling with something, you get to figure it out, and you know that if it comes up in the practice track, it's going to come up more at the race day. So you're like, okay, right, I need to start working on this. It's not just, a hunky-dory off-season where every day you're the fastest because you're riding on your own and you're feeling great doing scrubs and whips, but you get to the first round, you're like, oh my God, what's just happened? I've got my doors blown off.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Like, you have good days, you have bad days at the track, and you learn to deal with it. It's like the season. You have good days and you have bad days, but it doesn't change your mindset. You're just stable, level, get to work, you do your job, and go racing.
You were involved with 2 red flags Saturday night, heat race and main event. How do you deal with high intensity to calm during the red flag, right back to high intensity? It's got to be a little bit of a mental preparation during that calm time. Like, okay, I got to get fired back up. I got to get my heart rate back up. That's tough.
And that's because this just popped into my head, but World Supercross. Honestly, World Supercross was a perfect prep for that, because the first year I did it, I think it was the first year, or maybe the first year, it was, you had 3 mains back to back and you had 4 minutes in between each main. So it was so intense and like weird. You literally had to just, okay, yeah, you want to, every race as well was for points. So you had to treat each race like its own. And it was, you just had to refocus and go again. Also our training that we do, like, I'm not saying that we prepare for that, but there has been certain programs that we've had to do that have been like, I can't even, if it was like 3 6-lappers or 3 8-lappers, but with like little breaks, like 2-minute breaks or something like that. It might have been less laps or more laps, but anyway, we've had some sessions like that with just a few minute break, just for that kind of intensity, and also mixing it up, like different lines and things like that.
You mentioned when Eli was there and how aggressive he was at the goat farm and that you got roosted, and you brought up Barsha.
Yeah.
And I want to know, when you ride with guys like that ride a little different than you ride, or a Deegan or whoever, like how much of that you take and you can kind of learn from and add into your repertoire. And also if riding with guys like that made you uncomfortable at first.
Yeah, no, it definitely made me uncomfortable. But that's the thing, if you stay safe, you're never going to, you don't know how far you can go. It's you've got to try to, I don't know, always push yourself and find yourself in those uncomfortable situations. So yeah, like, of course, riding. I'm pretty sure everyone would find riding with Justin Barsha or Eli Tomac pretty uncomfortable. Those two of the gnarliest dudes on the track, and yeah, but of course, I've also got things to learn from them, especially with Barsha. Like I wanted to. So my idea with that, we were both kind of training at MTF, or he was around at the same time that I was there, and I wanted to get better at passing, like straight up, just like not even get better. I just felt like I was very respectful in the 250 class. They're a little bit more like wild, and they just take, if there's a little gap, they take it. Whereas in the 450 class, people are generally more, they know when to show a wheel or when not to, when to back out of it or whatever. So I was like, right, I want to learn a little bit of that. And we did a few motors. I went to his track one time, and I mean, he blew my doors off. Most of the day, pretty much when he was on, he was blowing my doors off on the track. But I was trying to start in front of him, and then he would catch me, and I'd try not to let him pass me. And it was a thing to try to learn. I was like, right, if I can handle the pressure of Bam Bam behind me, then I can handle the pressure of, I don't know, Cameron McAdoo. Like, it's not. And then, yeah, riding with Eli, obviously there's things that he does, just his intensity straight away, like learning those things, not learning, but I guess just picking up on those things and thinking, right, okay, that is possible, like seeing what is possible. And just how I was very impressed with Eli, while I think about it, how he would come out of the shop. So we would all have a time to go and do our motor, and we'd do a sight lap. And on the sight lap, he would really, really push, like get himself really fired up and going on the sight lap. And I was very impressed with that, because then his first laps in the moto were just phenomenal. But yet it was easy to come out of the shop. You feel a little tired. You're like, you go and roll around for a bit, and then you start your moto, and it's intense, obviously, but like you clip a couple things, you don't get it as clean as that. And I was quite impressed at how he came out every single day, and it was business, it was work, he was firing on all cylinders every single time his wheels touched the track, and it was very impressive to see him, to be around. So I don't know, it goes back to the whole, surround yourself with good people, or you that elevates you. And yeah, that's something that my whole life I've always been like, yeah, I'd love to be around those guys, but I've never been able to. I've never been in the opportunity to, and now I am. It's like I really appreciate it and feel grateful for the opportunity that I have to be just in the presence of that, to learn, to be better, and to try to better myself, and yeah, get race wins myself.